Old Man Taylor coming to you from the rifle range. And today I'm going to accomplish two things. One, I'm shooting the actual bullets for my seating depth ladder for a video that I'm making. Is seating depth nodes a myth? And I'll put a link to that up here when that's finished. It's not finished yet. I've got a couple trips to the range for that. But what this video is about is the Backfire challenge for 1 MOA. And at first, the first time I saw that, I thought that was pretty easy, and just about everybody was going to be able to do that. Then I started watching the series. There's a couple videos on it, and the amount of money he was giving away just kept growing because no one was able to do it. It was achieved at the end, but it was a lot more challenging than I expected. And that got me thinking about, how many times I feel like I've shot 5 shots inside 1 MOA and feel like that should have been something pretty easy to do. So why wasn't it, right? And there's a number of reasons. But what I decided to do today when I got to the range, I've got a cold rifle. I've set up at 100 yards. I have a target down range that is 1 inch. And I happen to have the bullets that are left from the last time I fired this rifle. So I feel comfortable that my zero is on, and I'm gonna shoot those same bullets that I last shot, cold bore, 5 shots, and let's see if I can make that happen or not. And now, one asterisk on this whole thing is I am shooting my factory seconds with range brass that I picked up and tack, which was really designed to be a cost-effective alternative to a much better cartridge. Now, I did a video on that as well. Yeah, sure, I'll put that up here, right? But what I've got left over from that, I loaded more than I needed of those, and I've got some left. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot 5 of those, and let's see, can we beat Backfire's 1 MOA challenge or not? Back from the range, and this one was close. So when I looked at the target, it looked like, if I continued the circle that I had shot out, maybe it was right through the center of that one shot. That's a little bit low there. We can take a look at that. It's very close to being in, but if I was calling it, I'd call it out. I'll go ahead and put a blow up of this on the screen. So I was thinking it beat me. I didn't have it. But then I remembered the technicality that the video is 1 MOA, not 1 inch at 100 yards. And of course, we all know that 1 MOA is equal to 1.047 inches. So I got just a little bit of room outside of my circle, my 1 inch circle on the target. So I got a set of calipers at 1047, measured it, and I am on the inside. And I'll put that picture up. Here it is. So what did we learn? What's the purpose, right? Well, what I learned is I went ahead and fired the rest of that box. I had 5 shots. I had shot the trip prior. I think I had 11 left, something like that. I fired 2 more groups with the rest of those bullets and made it easily. So what that tells me is I was the difference more than anything else. My cold bore shot, if you can see the first shot, was soundly in, so it wasn't the rifle. It was me. I was a little rusty there. So once I got in the groove and fired a few shots, I was good to go. But those first 5 were a challenge. So that's one reason we may not be able to do this consistently and why so many people are failing. Here's a couple more, right? So the next one is, I just happened to have the exact bullets I had made for a previous trip that I had zeroed my scope with already. The chances that we're going to get the exact same ammunition, the same lot that was manufactured at exactly the same time, and we show up or hand loads, we may use the same recipe, but do we make them exactly the same as we did the time before? Most of us know. So that's one reason that we may have a problem here. And of course, cold barrel shot is a real thing. This particular rifle does not have that issue. So I didn't have a cold bore issue. As you saw, my first shot was good to go. I would have taken that deer, right? I hit right where I needed to. But not all rifles are that way. So that can also be a challenge. And then another thing that just happens in our minds when we shoot a lot of groups, we tend to remember the ones we did pretty well at, most of us anyway. If I go to the range and I shoot five shot groups, and they're all 1 MOA or less, I'm thinking I'm a 1 MOA shooter. And the reality is, if I stacked them all up on the same point of aim, the group's probably going to grow a little bit, and I'm probably not actually that tight. I'm 1.25 inches, right? Maybe even 1.5 inches. But I don't see that because I see 5 shots, and if I measure the shots themselves, not from the center of the target, they're all within 1 MOA. So that's a mental thing that if we don't shoot enough, a large enough group, or we don't overlay those targets with the same aim point, we may not have a realistic realization of what we actually produce, right? So I thought that was fascinating. I want to thank Backfire for running this challenge. Like I said, it introduced me to his channel. We are not in cahoots in any way. I am sort of riding his coattails here with the search engine, probably. And for some payment for that, what I would like to do is endorse one of his products. Now, he didn't give this to me. I purchased it. And that is the Backstop recoil pad that I'm running on this rifle. I've run it now. This is my 3rd session shooting with it. The purpose for me was I'm trying to tame the recoil. This is 308. I have a short barrel, 20 inch. It's medium. It's not a heavy barrel. There's no weight in this chassis whatsoever. Don't have a device on the end of the muzzle. No brake, no cans. So the recoil is pretty substantial. And what I'm trying to do is, under fairly heavy magnification, I'm shooting 20 by today. I want to be able to see my impact so I can call my own shots, right? And I was having a little trouble doing that. I didn't want to go through the extremes of making this rifle really not suitable for grabbing and taking into the woods. So I wanted to try this recoil pad and see if that helped manage that. And yeah, I can see my impacts at 100 yards 20 times with this particular rifle. So, nodded to Backfire on that. It did do what he said it would do. I'm happy to have it, and I'm happy to give him that endorsement. All right, this is Old Man Taylor. I do have some more exciting stuff coming up. I shot today for the next video that I'm gonna make, which is gonna take a few trips to the range to finish. It's gonna be a minute, but it is about, is seating depth a myth or not? Hornady did a podcast on that kind of shook up the whole shooting industry, and I'm gonna put it to the test with the 308, and we'll see if what they said applies to the cartridges they used applies to the 308. Thank you very much, and until next time.